I heard a message similar to this. What does your pastor need from you? But I think in this case, what does our pastor need from us? Because I'm part of this group. And I do want to give you maybe some good ideas that we can help our pastor. To start out with, though, I'd like to read a Bible story that is found in Exodus chapter 17. And this takes place very early in the journey that the Israelites made from Egypt and ended up in the Promised Land, the land we call today Palestine. But during this time, this happened. Exodus 17, verse 8, and then I'll go through 20 through 13, I guess. Now Amalek came and fought with Israel in Rephidim. And Moses said to Joshua, "Choose us some men and go out, fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of a hill with the rod of God in my hands." So Joshua did as Moses said to him and fought with Amalek. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. And so it was when Moses held up his hand, the Israelites prevailed. When he let down his hands, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' hands became heavy. So they took a stone and put it under him. And he sat on it, and Aaron and Hur supported his hands, one on one side and the other on the other side. And his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. So Joshua defeated Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. This Bible that I use is a Blackaby Study Bible, and he puts in here a note that I'd like to share with you. God made us interdependent. Even when God's power is present, our weakness often requires human encouragement to strengthen us. We aren't in this alone. Sometimes we feel alone, but we're not really all alone. So how do we hold up our pastor's hands? We don't do it in a literal fashion, but there's things that our pastor needs us to help him with. Pastor usually has 3 points. I've got 7 today, but I think I can get through them a little faster than he gets through this. The first thing I want to mention, and this is one that's obvious and gets stated a lot, and sometimes we wonder what happened, but we need to pray for our pastor. Probably on a daily basis. Well, it should be on a daily basis. We need to pray for him. And we hear this a lot, and sometimes we wonder, are our prayers doing any good? But Scripture tells us that he is, that God's working through our prayers. And I'm not sure how it works, but sometimes it even shows up visibly in things that happen because we were praying for him. So always remember to pray for him and pray for his family as well. Yeah, he's got to take care of his physical family and this church family. So keep him in your prayers. Number 2, encourage him whenever you get a chance. Yes, a pastor works around, you can tell him how you liked his sermon and just encourage him here. But he needs that encouragement at other times too. Send him a little note of encouragement. Yeah, it only costs you 50 cents if you send it through the mail, and maybe you can find some way. You can send him a voicemail or something like that, I'm sure, or some kind of a text. But tell him how much you appreciate him and what he did, and talk about some of the things that it really helped you with. And this will encourage your pastor. And we also, again, need to remember his family. Beth has to take care of a home, and she's got a job like a lot of you do, and don't get to be just a housewife. This is for you gals, but maybe you can find the time even to take her out for coffee. I don't know how much, if she very seldom has time to do a little extra like that, but send her a text or something too, and tell her how much you appreciate her, how she holds up and helps pastor to do the job he does. Because he couldn't do what he does if he didn't have Beth's help. He really needs her, and she needs to be able to encourage him occasionally too. And remember his kids. Yeah, one thing that happens a lot of times, preachers' kids kind of get held to a higher standard. But they're just natural, normal kids like all the rest of us, our kids were. But everybody sees and judges our pastors' kids holds them up to a higher level sometimes. We don't want to do that. And if you get a chance to just take his kids for a day or something like that, give them a little extra something special, that'd be great. Recently at our day camp that we had for kids, here came Sandy Watkins, and I didn't think she was going to help us, and then here Luke pops out of her outfit. He had been there, I don't remember what she had him doing, but bravo for Sandy. She had kept him overnight, and I don't remember, they did some special things. And Luke said a couple of things. I mean, he didn't take a lot of time to talk about it, but he did say how much he appreciated that. He really thought that was pretty neat, that Sandy took him for a day, and I don't know what all they did.
Fencing. Yeah.
Pardon?
Fencing. They were fencing.
Yeah. She needed some help with a job, and some of us had some jobs we could work together with his kids on. But do what you can to encourage him. Another thing you might do sometimes, take the whole family out for Sunday dinner after church. Now that can get pretty expensive, I know, and we have to do a little traveling, but we do get kind of a snack on the way before we leave here. Or you might do like Laura Lee does every now and then, and put something in the crock pot at home and get everything ready so that you can just, why don't you come over with the family and join us for a meal on a Sunday afternoon, or even at another time. Those kind of things are a real help to a pastor and really encourage him. Also, this is number 4.
Oh, what happened to 3?
Yeah, we already did.
Oh, that was 3? Oh no, so this is 3, I'm sorry.
Okay, good. Oh, good, because I'm following along, Al.
Okay. Yeah, I can't even read my own writing, I guess. Remember that pastor's a human being. He comes up against the same things we do. He gets tired, he gets exhausted sometimes. And again, kind of referring back to what I just talked about, encouraging him, find some time to spend with him if you can. He can a lot of times take a little time off and go for a cup of coffee. If he's got an afternoon free and you like to golf, he'd enjoy going for a round of golf with you. There's a lot of things we can do. But just remember discouragement's going to hit him just like it hits all of us. And we need to just reach out to him and tell him, hey, you're doing a great job, keep it up, and just encourage him, because he is human. Number 4, he wants us to be faithful. And in this, I'm kind of preaching to the choir here, because you are here today. But we were one time at a church in Circle, and the pastor had been gone the week before, and he had somebody kind of like me stand up here and fill the pulpit. And everybody had stayed home or went off and did something. And this pastor, they were all there to hear him the next week, and he really reamed on them pretty bad. He said, you're coming to meet God, and God's still here whether your pastor is or not. So thank you for all of you who are here. And yeah, sometimes you may have a vacation that's going to interfere with you being here. None of us is going to make it all the time. In fact, I'm not going to be here next Sunday because I'm going to a big family reunion that happens every 2 years. But be as faithful as you can in attending, even if pastor's not going to be here for a week or two, and in this case, it's a whole month. But he's got some good speakers lined up for the next 2 Sundays. Be faithful in your giving, and this is one thing I want to commend you in. Our little church, our little group, and we are the church. It's not a building that when I talk about the church, we are the church. And thank you for your giving. Some of you can give a lot, some of you can give a little, some of you can't very often give anything, but that's fine. But God has really blessed this church with giving people. And we have enough money to do a lot of these extra things we like to do. Also, support his ideas. We have an outreach committee. That was his idea to put that together. And we get together a lot of times once a month. I don't know. I think the next one's going to be in August, but the end of August. But anyway, we have a lot of fun getting together and planning what kind of things we can do to reach out to people around us. And you're all welcome. It's in the bulletin, and you'll know when it is. If you haven't been coming and you are going to come, we've been meeting in homes. It'd be kind of nice if you warned the hostess that you were coming to their house for one of these. But Pastor will tell you about it, and he'll tell you you're all welcome. All of us can come up with more ideas than just 1 or 2 of us. And you may have some great ideas that we can use for drawing people to the church, which is our ultimate goal. Number 5, this is something we need to do personally sometimes, but it really helps a pastor. We need to grow spiritually. You know, pastor doesn't want to be feeding baby Christians all the time. Yes, we want them in our church, and it's good to have them. But we also need to do the things that help us to grow spiritually. And one of the most important things is to have a daily time to pray and read a little of Scripture. There's a lot of great devotional books out there. There's a lot of the mainline denominations put out a monthly thing, and there's some other things that are put out by other groups. And they have a devotional for each day. And maybe you have to do like I did a long time ago. Maybe you have to set the alarm a half an hour early so you can get that done. I did that, and it was worth doing. But find the time, and if you haven't got a devotional or you don't know where to start, talk to me afterwards or talk to Jody. I'm sure she could find you some devotional materials, that it have a verse for the day and some thoughts about that verse, and maybe some extra scriptures to read. But Martin Luther at one time made the, now yeah, he was a pastor, a priest, and then he started what we know as the Reformation. But Martin Luther made the statement, and this goes against all our thinking, but it really works. He said, I have so much to do every day that unless I spend 3 hours a day in prayer and Bible study, I'd never get it all done. 3 hours a day, and you take that out, and, huh? Yeah, but a little time, and most of us can't spend 3 hours a day because the person that makes out our paycheck kind of expects you to stay here. But spend some time, and it doesn't have to be a long time. And you may have to, your kids are creating a ruckus that day, and you just don't get it done, and get back to it whenever you can. I remember times when I'd miss out on my devotional time, and a couple times I had something I was trying to do. One time I was reading through the Bible in a year, and I'd try to catch up. Well, if I'd missed it for a week, catching up on that much Bible was just too much. But start over again and spend some time with the Lord. And pastor will know that you're growing, and it will help him to know that you're really digging into Scripture. And number 6 then, disasters hit all of us. And yes, pastor wants to be there for us. But the one thing we do, somebody ends up in the hospital for whatever reason. You find out you got cancer, or you have a heart attack. All kinds of disasters hit us. Our kids may have something happen to them. Let pastor know. We can't do anything if we don't know about it. And pastor can't either. And if you find out something and you don't think pastor knows, check with him, make sure. But if you have to take a spouse to the hospital, as soon as you get them there and get the medical care taken in gear, then let pastor know. He'd like to visit us. But he can't come visit us in the hospital or wherever. And another one that may happen to some of you, I hope it doesn't, but sometimes our kids get grown up and they get off on their own a little bit, and they do something real stupid and end up in jail. Pastor would like to be there to encourage you in that time. So let him know about it. You don't have to let the world know about it, because we don't want to broadcast that all over.